Well, hello there, and welcome to another Coffee and a Chat. So I want to talk about stewardship. Yeah, that's one of those things that I'm not sure we really teach about it that much in church anymore. I mean, I hear a lot about, being prosperous and God blessing us and giving us stuff and all, but I don't hear a lot about stewardship. And when I was coming up, stewardship was something that they taught a lot. So what is stewardship for those of you that maybe don't even know? I think the simplest way that I can explain stewardship, it's how we take care of and manage those things that God puts in our hands. Now, when you talk about stewardship, people usually will focus on money, but it's so much more. It's everything that is put into our hands. So it's the car you drive, it's the home you live in, it's everything, the clothes you wear. God, we look at it that God has provided everything we have and that He's the one that makes it possible. And so we're to be good stewards, okay, good caretakers and managers of the things that God has given us. And it's made me think about a story. When I was coming up, I've told you before, my grandma Hopkins, that she helped raise me. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. It wasn't that I formally lived with them, but I would stay with them for long periods of time, especially when my mom was having health issues. And my brothers, sometimes they would go to friends' houses or whatever, but I preferred, whenever I could, I loved going to my grandparents. And so my grandma Hopkins bought me my first pair of nylons. And I was so excited, that I finally was old enough and mature enough to be recognized as a young lady and that I was going to get to wear nylons. Yeah, I didn't know what a pain they were going to be. But, at that point in my life, it was very exciting to me. And so my grandma Hopkins bought me my first pair of nylons. I remember that I put my knee socks on. Yes, I'm from that era where we wore knee socks. Oh my goodness. Most people don't even, that simply means the socks came up to your knees. And we went to town and bought my nylons. And I was so excited because I knew I'm not going to be wearing knee socks anymore. I'm going to get to wear nylons like a regular grown-up lady. And so as we were going home, Grandma was talking to me about these nylons. And she said, now, nylons are fragile and a lot of things can happen to them. They can get holes in them. They can get runs if you're not careful, and I knew what all those things were because every time my mom or my grandma got one in their stockings, they were not happy about it. And so Grandma said, you need to treat these nylons like it's the only pair of nylons you're ever going to own. So I was like, okay. And I really took that seriously and I focused on it like these were the only nylons I'd ever own. And I got through more than a year, a little past the year mark, and I still had no runs, no holes. And I wore those nylons. I washed them by hand, hung them up in the shower to dry, did everything the way Grandma told me to do. And I tried to take very, very good care of them. Now, the day came when something eventually happened and I got a hole in a run and I was devastated. And my mom's like, why is this so, this happens? I'm like, but Grandma told me to treat them like they're the only pair I'll ever have. And my mom goes, well, you have done a really good job. And so I was then, my mom bought me another pair. Now she told me, now you still have to take care of them like it's the only pair you're ever going to own because when you get a hole or a run in these, you're going to need to start buying your own. I'm not going to keep buying them for you. So Grandma bought you one pair. Now I'm buying you one pair. And then, girl, you're on your own. So I was like, okay. So I don't know how long that next pair lasted with me, but to me, this was a great picture of what stewardship is. And I think it's a hard concept for people nowadays because we live in a disposable society. We really do. Things are not made to last. When I was coming up, boy, that car you bought, your first car, that might be the only car you drive for many years. It wasn't this, oh, I'm tired of this car, I'll trade it in and get a different one. No, you had whatever you had, you were thankful to have it, and you made it last. Our bicycles lasted longer than we did. We outgrew them. They weren't wobbly and falling apart. And I can remember the first bikes that my first husband and I got for our daughters when they were growing up, when they were first ready for bicycles, and putting them together. And those things were so flimsy. I remember thinking, boy, I hope this is really going to hold them okay. But, you know, it didn't take much, you know, on a tricycle or a bicycle or any of those things for there to be a dent or whatever. They weren't made to last. And I think the idea came that, you know what? If it's not made to last, they'll have to keep replacing it, and we, the manufacturers, will make more money. So let's quit doing such a great job, because we're not making as much money as we could be. And so we became a disposable society. We have so much trash, so much stuff we throw away. And I think I've told the story before, because Marvin will haul things for people. So sometimes they need, yard waste or something hauled to the dump, or, something like that. Well, there was this one time when he was hired by a very wealthy man to come and haul away their old furniture, because his wife had tired of it and she had bought all new things. So he had hauled all the old furniture into the garage in this mini mansion and then paid Marvin good money to haul it off. Well, when Marvin got there to pick it up, he's like, this is really good stuff. There's like nothing wrong with it. And he goes, well, but we don't want it anymore. So I was just going to send it to the dump. And Marvin was like, well, would you mind if I kept some of it? And I know some people that could use some of this, and the rest, could I just go ahead and donate it to, one of the thrift stores or something? Because this is good furniture, and, and it shouldn't, it's like, it was hard for him, like, how do I take it to the dump? I mean, there was a leather couch, okay? I don't even know, a big leather couch, not like a regular size, but it was extra long, and there was nothing wrong with it. Now, I didn't want a leather couch, and I didn't have any place to put something that big, and that ended up being donated. But there were some things, some people we knew that they needed, and there were things we needed, and it was funny because something had got spilled on this little love seat that we had, and that we had kept out of it. And just like, I think it was yesterday or something, and I had cleaned it up, and I had said something to Marvin about how, with that, I don't worry, how I don't want brand new furniture, because then when something happens, what if it stains it? What if it doesn't come out? I would be too worried over it, and this way I just cleaned it up, because I didn't pay anything for this couch. In fact, somebody paid you to bring it to our house, and he's like, yeah, I know, but I still take care of it. But if something were, if what had been spilled on it had damaged it beyond repair, I wouldn't have been as devastated as if I had a lot invested in it. But I still look at it that this is what God provided for us. My recliner by the wood stove, my nap chair, the place where I can take the best naps. I never used to be a napper, but I've hit a point in life where, whether I want to or not, I just kind of fall asleep. That is the best place to take naps. I've had other people come and take naps in that chair. One of the things he was sending to the dump. I have a kitchen chair. One of the things he was sending to the dump, and I use that thing all the time. It's great. So being a good steward is taking care of those things. It's as if that's the only couch you're ever going to have, or the only recliner you'll ever have, or the only chair, or the only car. Taking care of it, not having this attitude of, if I don't like it anymore, if it wears out, no big deal, I'll just go get another one. Because God did not call on us to just be out there just throwing money around on whatever, but we're supposed to be responsible with things. And for me, I look at it that if I have to throw money, if I go throwing money around because, if I had the kind of money that I could just go, I'm tired of this decor, and I think I'll just do something new because I'm tired of it, and just spending money like that. And there's a lot of people do, but for me, I would be thinking, do you know how many people I could help with that money? Do you know how many people are in need right now? So for me, that I would not feel I was being responsible, because that's me. Yeah, you do you, I do me. I'm just telling you, that's how I would feel. And maybe part of it is because of when I grew up and all, but spiritually and scripturally, it falls in line to be a good caretaker of the things that God has given us, and not be wasteful with it, and not be so quick to trash it and throw it away and not care anymore. I even look at kids and how, I mean, we took care of what toys we had, because those really might be the only toys we had. And nowadays it's like kids have so much stuff that it just isn't that big deal. You know, I have seen some of my grandkids break things and just be like, no big deal. Oh, it's okay. Mom and dad will give me another one. You know, they don't have that respect. And it's like, you know, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. What if they don't get you another one? What if that was the only one you were going to ever have? Then it's like, uh-oh. So I just wanted to share that story with you today, because we need to be good stewards. And if you haven't thought about it, because I think a lot of people don't, we need to think about that. And are we pleasing God with how we're taking care of what we have? Are we being responsible with it? Are we managing our money in a wise way? Or are we just being whatever, flippant, and just, do whatever? Or is there a rhyme and a reason to what we're doing? Are we investing in other people's lives? I told you that God has very extravagantly, that's a hard word to say, or at least it is for me right now. He provided for us to take care of some real needs that we had, and we had no other way to take care of those. But in the money that he put in our hands, he told us, this isn't all for you, but I want you to help some other people out that are in need too. And so he's told us who, he's told us what, how much, or whatever. And it's not hard at this point in life. It's not hard for Marvin and I to do that. In fact, we rejoice in being able to do that. But how many times do, somebody gives you a financial gift, do you think about it? Do you make sure that God gets a portion of that? Or do you just go, Red Lobster tonight? I know somebody that likes to go to Red Lobster. That's why I say that one. So, I think we need to stop and think about things, and we need to really focus on how God wants us to handle things. I think in yesterday's video, I said that my husband wants to work out our dishwasher situation, and he doesn't know this yet because he's not here. And I don't know if I'm going to tell him. I'm going to wait and see if he notices, or maybe when he sees this video. But he wants to go ahead and correct the non-working dishwasher situation. Well, while he's been gone this afternoon, I prayed about it. And I asked the Lord, because I had this feeling that because it had the power off to it for a while, what if it just needs because it's computerized, everything, it seems like it is anymore, but what if it just needs to be reset? Now, I've been thinking that for a while, and while the girls were here, we tried to figure it out. We went online and everything. But today I said, Lord, I'd rather use that money for something else rather than a dishwasher. To me, I know my husband, is trying to make my life better. And I do know, because we're having more and more people in our house, it would really help to be able to use the dishwasher at least some of the time. But I prayed over it. I went online. I did a search again, and I found something I didn't find before. And it said how to reset that computer. And it was something different than anything else I'd seen. So I went and tried it. It worked. So we'll see. I'm running a test run with it to see it go all the way through, but I think the dishwasher is just fine. I think that God has provided for that without it costing anything, without us having to tear anything apart, put any new parts in. I think the dishwasher's okay. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited that, hey, Marvin, I guess God agreed with you because he fixed it. So, yeah, think about it. You know, life is going to get tougher. I already know people that were financially set and thought everything was great, and now they're not feeling so financially set. They're having expenses that they didn't have before. Money's getting tight for them. They're having to budget things. It is really important that we be good stewards and that we ask for God's guidance in how He wants us to not just manage our money, but even the things, the tools in our hands, the whatever it is, whatever is in your home, your furniture, your possessions, whatever. So I just wanted to share that with you today. I found it very interesting, and Lord's been, speaking to me about some of that, and I started going, Lord, I don't know if people even know what stewardship is anymore. I don't remember the last time I heard somebody teach on stewardship. I've heard them teach on prosperity. I've heard them teach on God wants to give you everything. He wants to give you the desires of your heart. But I haven't heard anybody teach on stewardship in a long time. So there it is. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. I'm actually filming this the night before tomorrow. So when you see it, it'll actually be the next day. And I'm praising God that He gave me this video tonight, and that I know there's one to go up tomorrow. So that's a blessing too. It's funny, when I talk to God and I share my heart with Him, He always listens to me, and He moves in very wonderful ways, very loving ways on my behalf, and makes me wonder why sometimes He's the last thing I think about. I don't think that's true as much anymore as it used to be, but that has been really true in my life, where I have run around, tried to fix things, take care of things, figure it out myself, and then when everything crashes and there's nothing making any sense or working, and I have no more resources, no more way to go, then I would be like, well, I guess I'll go talk to God. Yeah, it's really nice talking to Him about it right from the get-go and just having Him walk through it. So all right, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I guess I should add, Lord willing, right? All right, no, I will talk to you tomorrow. I know I will, because He'll make a way. All right, talk to you guys later.